The Congress of New Caledonia, as we know it today, is the successor of three different assemblies that have succeeded one another over time and through institutional changes in New Caledonia. The General Council from 1885 to 1957, followed by the Territorial Assembly from 1957 to 1985. It has since become the Congress of New Caledonia. To date, it is made up of elected members of the Northern Province, the Southern Province, and the Loyalty Islands Province. The Congress and the three provinces are the results of a long political and historical journey. It has been 20 years now since New Caledonia's status changed from being an overseas territory to what is known as a collectivity of the French Republic with special status. This is why the present-day Congress has replaced the former Congress of the territory. It is located in Noumea, the capital of New Caledonia. But then, what is the Congress? It is an institution, the first in New Caledonia, like the government, the provinces, the customary Senate, the 8 customary councils, and the Economic, Social, and Environmental Council. The Congress represents the legislative power, while the government of New Caledonia represents the executive power. The customary Senate and the Economic, Social, and Environmental Council have a consultative role. New Caledonia is the first French territorial collectivity to receive this legislative power, meaning that the Congress, being a deliberative assembly, can pass laws just as do the National Assembly and the Senate. It is the third legislative assembly of France. In New Caledonia, it is the symbol of a Caledonian collectivity. Why is it necessary? Because it would be very difficult to ask every citizen for their opinion on bills and political decisions. This is why representatives are elected to exercise this power. In addition to voting country laws, the Congress also has other powers. It elects the so-called collegial government, which means that it is made up of several members from different political parties, thus ensuring its collective functioning. Moreover, the Congress oversees the government's work through oral and written questions. The Congress also has a consultative role and can be consulted by the High Commissioner on national bills and proposals or on the ratification of international treaties that are intended to apply in New Caledonia. Lastly, the Congress can adopt resolutions or express wishes. It therefore asks the state to approve or amend provisions applicable to New Caledonia. So who is the Congress made up of? There are 54 members making up Congress, called Councillors of New Caledonia, who are elected for a 5-year term by direct suffrage. Keep in mind that it is the citizens of New Caledonia who have the right to vote, who choose the lists of political parties they wish to see elected in the provincial elections. Some of these elected representatives serve as both members of the Provincial Assembly and members of the Congress. Seats are allocated proportionally, representing the 3 provinces. 7 councillors of New Caledonia out of 14 representatives for the Loyalty Islands Province, 15 out of 22 for the Northern Provinces Assembly, and 32 out of 40 representatives for the Southern Provinces Assembly. Most citizens can run in the provincial elections and create a list to sit in each province's assembly, provided they meet all mandatory criteria to become a candidate. Be a citizen of New Caledonia, be at least 21 years of age on election day, and have a clean criminal record. Among the councillors, some are elected by their peers to ensure a good internal operation all year long. Those 13 representatives are elected every year and make up the Congress office. The office is made up of a speaker, elected by vote in absolute majority, 8 deputy speakers, 2 secretaries, and 2 questors, who are elected by proportional representation. It is important to point out that Congress members represent all the political leanings. The speaker, elected by secret ballot and by absolute majority by the Congress members, is the Congress representative in all circumstances. He opens, adjourns, and sets sittings agendas. He He oversees the administration, appoints staff members to the different services, and maintains order in the House. If the Speaker is away or otherwise unavailable, one of the deputy speakers can stand in for him or her. The questors, there are 2 of them, monitor Congress finances and help the Speaker prepare the budget. The secretaries assist the Speaker during sittings in organizing discussions during the votes. Even if political assistants are not part of the permanent institution's staff, they too play a key role in the Congress workings. Their role is to bring technical assistance to the elected members during their mandate. We can thus picture Congress as an hourglass in which the administration department would be right in the middle to better manage both written and oral communication between the elected members and their assistants, as well as the administrative agents who ensure all requests are written down. Congress employs a total of 65 full-time administrative agents. Let's talk about the Congress workings. Once Congress is formed after the elections, the councillors gather for sessions during which they discuss and vote budget, fiscal measures, country laws, and deliberations. A country law is the sum of the prescriptions adopted by the authority which apply to everyone and define the rights and duties of each and every one exclusively on a local scale, therefore only in New Caledonia in this specific case. Congress adopts its laws from preponderant fields such as taxes, labor law, health or employment access. In order to discuss and vote on these issues, the Congress councillors gather for 2 sessions called ordinary, which are held every year. The first one, called administrative session, is open from June 1st to June 30th. The second one, the budget session, is open from November 1st to November 30th. Each session cannot last more than 2 months. Congress can also gather for an extraordinary session if requested by either the government, the High Commissioner, or the majority of Congress members. These sessions are upheld only by convocation and treat of a specific agenda. During the sessions, several meetings can take place, and the meetings are public, meaning virtually anyone can be present, unless the majority of members decide otherwise. No meeting can be held if less than half of the members are attending or represented. This minimum number to reach is called quorum. If quorum is not reached the day of the session's opening, the meeting will be postponed to a later date. Who makes the country laws and deliberations? When a country law is the initiative of the government, it is called a bill, whereas it is called a law proposal when it is the initiative of elected Congress members. The government adopts the country's draft bills, then forwards them to the advisory bodies. The text is then sent to the State Council, which has 1 month to give their opinion. Once the text has been reviewed by the State Council, it is returned to the collegial government, which adopts the country law draft. The draft is then submitted to Congress, where it is reviewed by the relevant internal committees, which make any required amendments and then give their opinion. The committees, 13 of them in total and renewed annually, each have a particular field of expertise specific to the country, such as Sports Committee, the Women and Family Rights Committee, or the Agriculture and Fisheries Rights Committee. After having heard the special rapporteur, Congress debates, reviews, and adopts or rejects the text. It is at this point where the elected representatives vote either for or against it. When all the votes have been recorded, the President announces the closing of the votes and reads the results aloud. In the event of a tied vote, if there is an equal number of votes for and against, the President's vote prevails. If the country law is adopted, it is then submitted to the High Commissioner to be enacted with the counter-signature of the President of the Government. After the enactment, the country law is published in New Caledonia's official journal. When referring to a country law proposal, originating this time from New Caledonia's councillors, the text is submitted by the Congress and the process is very much the same. When the Congress is not in session, the small Congress takes over and sits. So then what exactly is the small Congress? Each year, Congress elects a standing committee. This standing committee is made up of 11 elective members, a president, a vice president, a secretary, and 8 members. Through these 11 members, the Standing Committee represents all political groups sitting in the Congress. It is called the Small Congress because it works on issues which are not dealt with during the Congress sessions, with the exception of voting on the budgetary and tax measures as well as country laws. Since the very first days of the Nouméa Accord, the Congress has voted on an average of 10 country laws and has held about 100 proceedings per year. However, with the many transfers of power, New Caledonia has been asked to legislate more and more, and since 2015, the number of adopted texts has doubled each year. What better way than the conch to symbolize the beating heart of democracy in New Caledonia? The conch shell was originally used to summon people up to discuss possible exchanges. Today, the walls of the Congress bear this ancestral conch, reminding us, decades later, of the very meaning of its existence. Land of the word, land of sharing.